Hello and welcome to Tuesday Musings, your weekly place for inspiration and advice from me, Brianna McNerney. Thanks for watching. This week is the third installment of 6, where we'll be walking through individual components of mental wholeness, which is the biggest result I help my clients achieve, probably the biggest result I help my clients achieve. Mental wholeness, it's essentially a feeling of being complete, being unbroken, feeling totally whole and good enough for exactly who you are, regardless of your circumstances and any given moment. We've already talked about acceptance and body love as the first two components of mental wholeness. Acceptance, we need to accept our situations, we need to accept ourselves, we need to accept the way we feel about certain things. And also body love, we need to love our physical bodies and treat them very well as our most valuable asset here on this journey of life, if you will. This week we're talking about clarity as a third component working towards mental wholeness. And when I refer to clarity, I mean feeling really clear, being very clear about your life, what you want, and where you're heading. It's important both internally, feeling fresh instead of foggy, being connected to your purpose and what's important to you, knowing exactly what you want and what you need to do to get there. And it's important with external factors in your communications with others, being clear and concise, being able to ask for what you want, being able to represent yourself clearly and accurately, etc. And it's very easy in our society to put our clarity on the back burner. We get so swept away in doing our routines and what we should do and obligations and responsibility that exist already, and looking at our ever-growing to-do list, right? That all of a sudden we kind of come up for air and we realize that we lost ourselves somewhere. We lost that thing that we were working towards. We lost the things that made us who we were, and we lost what was important to us. I suspect that sometimes we actually avoid clarity because we're afraid that once we know what we want, we kind of have this responsibility to go out and get it, right? Once you know, it feels a lot more uncomfortable to stay in the same spot when you want something to be different. And I think sometimes we are afraid that the clarity is going to cause us to make some huge change in our life. Like we're going to have to totally start over and scrap everything if we want to follow what our clarity tells us. When in reality, those big sorts of sweeping changes are not usually helpful. They're not usually maintainable, and I do not recommend them, okay? Definitely not without talking to somebody about it first. But that being said, during this video, I am encouraging you to shake things up and really prioritize clarity if you're interested in feeling mentally whole. Because when we feel clear, we're energized, we're excited to take steps towards our goals. It feels really good to take those action steps because we're confident in what we want. We're confident in our ability to make it happen. We can use our clarity and our ability to focus on what we want in order to easily tap into and decipher what our internal guidance system is telling us, like our intuition, our gut reaction, what our heart wants, etc. Those things. And those in turn build our clarity. What a nice cycle to get into. And clarity is especially important to prioritize during challenging times when things are uncertain or there are heavy emotions coming up, because consistent clarity during those challenging times really builds up dedication towards your goals and the things that you're working towards. It's so important, especially when you're working towards something big. Times will get difficult and our clarity will be challenged, but it only helps us get clearer about what we want and what's important to us. So loud and clear, we're not always going to feel 100% clarity because life does just feel uncertain sometimes. And we can also really benefit from learning how to recognize when we're not feeling clear and learning how to tap into clarity so that we can feel mentally whole in a consistent way and go towards the things that we want consistently. So, to start experiencing more clarity right away, I would like you to do two things for me. You have to set aside a chunk of time. I recommend at least 30 minutes for this, but if you have 5, make it work. Just do what you can, okay? So I want you to first take half of the time you're setting aside and just write. Just write a clear, an uninterrupted stream of consciousness. If you have to start writing blah, 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 I don't know what to write. Just write whatever is coming to your mind. You can type it out in a Word doc or write it on paper. And then do that for the first chunk of time. Just kind of brain dump it all out onto paper. And then after you've done that and cleared out some of the gunk that's on top of all the good clarity underneath, I want you to then write, take some time to reflect about what is important to you, okay? If you knew you only had 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year left to live, what would feel important to you? How would you spend that time left here if you knew your time was limited? If you only had to pick one thing that you were going to accomplish with the rest of your life, what would that one thing be? What do you want to create in your life moving forward? And how do you want your life to feel? That is a very important question. And then let me know below this video, leave a comment, let me know how the exercise goes for you, okay? I would love to hear your dreams. I would love even more to help you make them a reality. And that's it for this week's musings. It sets a great stage for next week. We'll be back with another component of mental wholeness, vibrational awareness. So extra attention to that, how you feel at the end of the exercise, okay? Don't forget to let me know how this goes. I really hope that you'll subscribe, like my Facebook page, connect with me on LinkedIn, wherever you are. Just make sure to connect if you want to stay in the loop to keep hearing the components of mental wholeness. And I will look forward to seeing you next time. Have such a great week, and thank you for watching. Take care.